Welcome back to the channel. Today we're into this Grove man lift I've got. It's got a forward gas engine in it, but I'm missing the original carburetor and the electronic governor control, so I've tried to make it work, but it's just time to put a different engine in it and be done with it. We're going to get this hopefully fired up and moved over to where I'm going to tear it apart. As you can see, it's been sitting here for, I don't know, quite a few months, and I haven't had it running. I'm going to see if we can get her started. This is what I was talking about with the carburetor. I can't see it too well, but I don't have the factory carb, so I tried putting a Briggs & Stratton carburetor on it because I needed the servo, an electric choke, and a fuel shutoff solenoid. Then we've got the governor controller there. This particular setup doesn't seem to work the way I wanted it to. That's why I'm done with this program, and I'm just going to end up putting a Kubota 4-cylinder diesel on this. I don't know, once you get 40 feet up in the air, pretty disappointing that the forward engine quits and there you are stuck. So I don't know what the deal with this thing is, if there's a leak in the draw straw or what. Every time you go to start this thing, you've got to bleed the fuel line at the fuel pump, or it doesn't seem to want to pick the fuel up.
Don't ask me, ask China that question, okay?
I ordered a faucet pump for it, so hopefully that shouldn't give me any more issues. Well, I've got the machine set up with the boom on a couple pieces of blocking. This cylinder does have a counterbalance valve in it, so you know there's no way that it should be able to fall, but this is the engine I plan on putting in here. This is a Kubota V1505 with the turbo on it, so I'm hoping this engine will be enough power for this machine. If not, I may just have to limit the stroke of the hydraulic pump. I got the bolt to the pump here. I'm gonna see if I can pry it back and maybe see what we got to work with for a shaft. Well, I'm into the pump shaft there, so at least I can get a diameter on this. Maybe get a diameter of the shaft, or even see what the shaft looks like on the other pump. We'll get into that now.
1 hour later.
I believe I'm ready to pull this thing out now.
You sure about that?
I think I got everything undone. Besides the motor now. Well, I got this thing pulled out now, so I can figure out what I'm going to need to get in order to couple this to the pump on the engine. I see there's a tag here, so hopefully I can get a hold of these guys and they'll have a splined coupler that can get me adapted over. Once again, after hours and hours, one's ready to pull. Compare the two engines and kind of see what my distances are, what I'm going to have to make to modify it in order to put this Kubota in the lift. Well, it's about a week later here. Built a frame that the engine's going to sit in, and then I've got a couple pieces of angle bolted onto the engine. So that, sorry I didn't get any video of this, but that's going to be the plan of attack for today, is to get this Kubota sitting in here, get it so the pump's going to line up, as well as have enough room to get the coupling off. Turns out that this thing ended up being a the pump on this was 13 spline and this coupling is 15, so I think I've got the right one on order. Hopefully by then I'll have everything else complete other than the coupling. So I've got it slid into a position here that I'll be able to push this over enough, get the pump over where I can slide the coupling into the bell housing and then slide it onto the pump shaft. So hopefully I won't have to take this engine back out, you know, if I have to do anything with this coupling here. So I get the welder strung out, and then I'll put a couple of tack welds on this thing. This frame must not be perfectly level because, or perfectly flat, or one of these pieces might have got cut a little bit different, rocks a little bit, but I think I'll be able to weld the gap. So I've got some good enough tacks on this that the engine shouldn't go anywhere, and I'll be able to start on. I'll bring the radiator out and see where it's got to go in relationship to the fan. So I think that's going to work out all right. I've got it sitting up on a couple 2x4s here. I get my 3 inches. So now I just got to cut some pieces of this square tubing for the side, and then figure out what I'm going to do down in there. Good thing I'm a hoarder and I saved this piece and spent you know, hours looking for it, because I needed a piece of 2x3 with a heavy wall. But after I end up get this dug out, I happen to find a piece of quarter wall 2x3 that's the perfect length. So I've got my side supports made for the radiator. I ended up just cutting some of that quarter wall 2x3, and I got some 2x2 verticals. So I'm gonna get these welded on here. Well, I got the framework for the radiator tacked in there. Seems like it's going to fit all right here. I stepped it away from the fan a little more than I probably should have, but I think it'll be okay. You know, this thing's not going to be working as hard. I don't believe this is going to be working as hard as when it was in the golf course mower. Plus, it had a hydraulic cooler on there as well, so I think this, even with the fan being stepped out, it's still going to have enough cooling. I wanted to leave enough room underneath here so I could eventually move the fan out and put a second pulley on here, because I have a belt-driven generator that I was thinking about mounting in here somewhere. That would allow me to be able to have power on the platform with just this thing, you know, idling. So I got the engine pulled back out here, so you'll see I'll be able to weld all this in here. Put a piece of something on the underside of that, as well as over there. And then trim all the corners off and put a couple little braces in here. So I guess let's get at that. Well, it's been a number of hours here. I've got the all the supports welded in, the motor mounts welded out, as well as the drain plug marked, where I've got to cut a little torch that out. I got my little pieces welded in there, and the corners, yada yada yada. So now I just gotta undo the bolts on the motor while I get the telehandler hooked to it, and yard the thing out. While I'm waiting for the paint to dry, I'm going to get started on this program here. I've got to sort out which wires are for the Ford engine and which wires are from the machine. So I'm going to start by taking all the zip ties off and get the harness stripped back basically to where it passes over from the machine to the engine harness. Well, I'm waiting for paint to dry again, so I figure I might as well get these two busted bolts out of here. Hopefully I can heat them up. Some of you guys probably remember the old friend here, some Crayola. Put a bit of that on there, see if that'll work its way into the threads. Looks like there might be a beehive in there. Well, just looking at this radiator here, it looks like the last guy tried to do some kind of repair on it. Looks like it's leaking around the top outlet, or the inlet. Take the torch, warm that glue up or whatever, or get that burned off, and then see what we can do. Well, I'm happy with how that turned out. It's not perfect, but I think it'll be okay. It's a lot better than buying a new radiator, especially something that's, you know, got a 4-inch core on it, so. So I'm quite happy with how the frame turned out. It's all bolted on. Only thing I forgot to do was cut that slot for the drain plug, but I can do that at a later date. I got the bell housing all cleaned up, the bolt holes chased, so that shouldn't be an issue. Well, I'm quite happy with how this is coming together. We got the bolts in. All I've got to do now is get the pump coupling and then deal with all the wiring. And then well, I fixed the radiator, but I want to clean it out. Looks like there's quite a bit of corrosion in the cores, so after about a $400 trip to Princess Auto and the parts store for, you know, fuel line and various accessories for this project, I was able to get the engine into the machine and get some wires hooked up to it enough that it'll run. Well, now that I've got those decals on there, really the only remaining thing to do to this machine to increase its functionality is I've got to get the drive high fixed, as well as the tilt alarm and the warning lights, which, looking at the diagrams, it looks like it's all tied in with the high-speed drive. So let's get into that. Well, now we're into the high-speed drive, as well as the all the motion alarms. And as you can see down in here, there's some interesting stuff going on. Everything's unplugged. So what I'm hoping to do is kind of figure out, got a couple drawings here, and try and figure out what exactly is going on here to hopefully get both these functions as well as the lights working again. Anyways, I've already got enough on this this section already, so if you haven't, please comment, rate, and subscribe.